Welcome to Learning to Glow, a show about wellness, skin health, and self-development. I'm your host, Jess. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, and skincare expert. I'm so excited to share tips on how to achieve healthy skin and bring amazing guests in the field of health, fitness, aging gracefully, and personal growth. Let's explore all different ways we can take care of ourselves as women, both inside and out, to truly shine. So let's get glowing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learning to Glow podcast. I'm your host, Jess. Thank you so much for being here. And today we have a really great episode with Leslie Danford. She is the founder and CEO of Vitaminis, a clean label, functional food and beverage brand. She has always been passionate about nutrition, but she is not a foodie. For her, it's like a math equation, and it's important to cover all of your nutritional bases. In 2020, she combined her personal interests with her formal business training to launch Vitaminis, the first scale brand in functional food and beverages for families. Previously, she worked in beverages and consumer products at large corporations. She earned her MBA from Harvard University and her BA from the University of Chicago. So today, Leslie came on and shared the importance of 3 vitamins and minerals that are really crucial, especially this time of year. And it was kind of funny because when we recorded this episode, I had a cold. And just like a few days before, I had a doctor appointment, and my doctor was like, you need to start taking zinc and vitamin C. And it was just a funny coincidence that we were talking today about the importance of vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium. And I loved all of the information that Leslie shared. It was super important. I feel like it's really great for this time of year just to be reminded. And, you know, we want to kind of stay on top of our immune system and make sure that we're healthy. So yes, it's really great for this time of year and immune support, but also there are so many other benefits to these 3 ingredients that we discuss that are worth noting. So Leslie did such a fantastic job of kind of explaining this and breaking it all down from us. And she does have a really amazing product called Vitaminis. Her company is a clean label, functional food and beverage brand. They are nutritional juice shots that aid in the immune support and gut health, keeping the ingredients super clean too. They're non-GMO, vegan, allergy friendly. You can find them on Amazon. There's a few other places you can get them as well. I will link all of that in the show notes, as well as Leslie's information. She is incredible, such a wealth of knowledge. I am so glad she came on. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. And here is Leslie. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learning to Glow podcast. I am your host, Jess, and today we have Leslie with us. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So happy you're here. I like to start off all of my episodes with if you could just introduce yourself and tell us what you do and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Leslie Danford. I'm the founder of Vitaminis. I started Vitaminis about 2 years ago. I was laid off during the pandemic, and I'd always been thinking about health and wellness and had all these ideas, and it honestly finally pushed me to do that. So I'm also a mom to 4, so I'm very busy, and I'm a big health and wellness enthusiast, yoga practitioner, and that kind of thing.
I love it. You're in the right place. We talk all about all of that stuff. So
Perfect.
yeah. And today I thought I want to hear more about your product, but I thought we would start by talking about the role of magnesium, vitamin C, and zinc. And I think this is a very timely episode because I don't know if you can hear my voice. I have a cold.
Oh no.
I do. I'm like, oh, this is the perfect topic for today. And also, you know, all of us moms are worried and concerned about our kids going to school and bringing home all of the germs. It's like the time of year where all of that happens. So I feel like this is the perfect time to talk about preventative. How can we boost the immune system? And actually this morning I was taking all of these supplements. So I thought we could start with that, and maybe you could share a little bit about why these things are important, and then maybe we could break it down like one by one.
Yeah, no, that's great. And it's funny when you mention preventative, like kids in school, that's exactly why I started this product, because it was during the pandemic and I was about to send my kids back to part-time in-person school. And I was thinking what do they need? And how can we protect all of us? So yeah, vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium are super important for your immune system from a whole different angles. Some of it's cellular, some of it's skin, Some of it's like white blood cells. So there's all different functions. And zinc and magnesium in particular, vitamin C, I think is, at least for me, easier to get. It's in a lot of stuff. But zinc and magnesium in particular are harder to get into your regular diet. And 2 years ago, when I started this company, when I learned about these minerals being so important to your health, I looked at my multivitamin I was taking and it had no magnesium and only 15% daily value of zinc. So you have to kind of read your labels, because not only is it hard to get in fruits and vegetables, but it's not always in your daily multi either.
Oh, yes. I know. I've heard that you have to take zinc. You just have to take that separately because of that same exact thing. And that's what we do. But I don't think I was doing that when I got sick. And I know it's normal to get sick, but also I feel like sometimes my kids bring home germs or a cold or whatever, and it turns into pneumonia for me. So I like, as I'm older, I'm like, wow, I really need to work on the preventative piece. And same with my kids, because this is not the time of year I want them to be getting sick and like missing
Right.
school. So do you want to start with magnesium?
Yeah, sure. And just one comment on that too. I didn't really appreciate this. I think of the immune system as like protecting you from getting sick, but it also helps you kick your illnesses faster. So
Yeah,
one like sign that you might not be getting what you need is like if you have a lingering cold that goes on for weeks and weeks and you just can't seem to kick it, that's like one signal that you might need to boost up your immune system. So yeah, I totally agree. No one can afford to lose weeks and weeks, kids or
n-
adults. It's just like not okay. Um,
exactly.
yeah, so magnesium is a super interesting nutrient. It is involved in so many aspects. So, from the immune side of things, it's actually involved in a lot of cellular regeneration. So, if you think about like just cells needing to fight off infections and diseases, white blood cells, skin cells, all of them use magnesium for that regeneration. And so taking magnesium does help your immune system, but it also helps your heart health. And it is also a muscle relaxant almost. And so it's really great for recovering from exercise, cramping. Often you'll take magnesium, and also sleep, because it kind of helps you kind of bring down your muscles to get ready for sleep. And then it's also involved in brain health and bone health. So it's one of those powerhouse nutrients that touches so many different things.
Oh, that's good. And now I have a question about that because I've heard it's really great for sleep, but I have been taking it in the morning. Do you recommend taking magnesium at night, or what does it matter, or what do you think?
I think it kind of depends what you're taking it for. I think if you're looking to take it for sleep, it's probably better to do it in the evening. But at least for me and for vitamins, it's really whenever. I do a lot with breakfast on the go. For me, it's more about just getting the minerals in than it is about sleep in particular. But I think if your body has adequate levels, you shouldn't kind of need to boost it at particular times.
Mm,
I talked to a nutritionist once who told me you should always kind of think of your diet as like on a weekly basis, because any given day you may not check all the boxes, you may not eat perfectly, but you can always make up for it the next year in a couple days. So that's how I think about it. And I'm not a doctor, but I kind of think about it as just keeping everything on a big picture basis coming in, however you can get it in. If it's morning, evening, whatever. But I think if you are looking for sleep, it probably would be better at night. But I think any time is better than no time.
I think that's so important with the the weekly, instead of like thinking about doing everything in one day, because that just leads to you're like so much pressure, and then you fail at it, and you're just like, it just makes you want to give up altogether. And
Yeah,
there's been times with me where I've not been great with my supplements, and and then I'm like, oh my gosh, just whatever. It just, it's one of those things where if you look at it by the week, it takes that pressure off, and
totally.
you don't have to be perfect. It's you have leeway, you have room to make mistakes.
Yeah, totally. And I find it helpful with kids. Like I said, I have 4 kids, and like, sometimes they don't want to eat what I give them. They won't eat their vegetables, or they eat a bunch of candy. It's like tomorrow's a new day. We can come back from this.
I can't relate. My kids only eat veggies all the time. No, just kidding.
Wow.
It's no, that's a joke. Yeah, I definitely have that struggle, and that's something that I have also. You're right, like, with the kids, especially with the kids, because you just think, "Oh, I wish they would eat more of this." And you have that day where you're like, "Wow, we hit up a birthday party, and there was some not great food going down."
all day Saturday. There was snacks after the baseball game or whatever it may be. But, there's tomorrow morning, I'm like, okay, mental note, smoothie. We need to
Yes.
start our day with some greens or something that makes me feel a little bit better as a mom, because that can be so stressful as a mom,
Yes. Yeah.
trying to get that nutrition into your children, especially if you have picky kids. Do you have picky kids?
Yes, I do. So one in particular of my four, and it's funny because if you had asked me before I had kids, I would have said, "Oh, it depends. You as a parent make your kid not picky." No, because I've treated them all the same. And one of my four, just it's like flavors impact him more, and textures. He just doesn't like more things. And we tried early on to say, "Oh, you have to take a bite," but he'll actually be like, "Ugh," like he just it's like a physical. And I'm like, "Okay, that's not working." So. Yeah, I do have one picky eater, and he was definitely some of the inspiration too for my products of like, not just for kids, picky kids, but everyone needs like an easy, tasty way to get these things done. It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, and if it does, it's just not gonna happen
Yeah,
as
it's not.
easy.
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
and I relate to that. I have one who's more open-minded and one who is just, funny about different foods, and I'm like, "Okay," we keep trying, and I'm not to the point where I'm like, "You have to," but, try at least, and it is a stressful thing as a mom, and it's frustrating. You make this beautiful meal, and they're like, "I'm not eating this." You're like, "Oh, no." So let's talk about, I think vitamin C would be good, because I feel like a lot of people know about vitamin C. We should be eating vitamin C in our diet, but sometimes, like we talked about, it doesn't always happen as much as we want, especially I feel like in this time of the year. And then it's also, we're heading into the time change, and it's going to be darker, so we're going to be exposed to the sun less. So talk to us about why vitamin C is so important.
Yes, vitamin C is great. And it's one of those vitamins where it's like the more the merrier. Some vitamins your body stores up, so you don't want to overdo it. But vitamin C, you can really, it's almost like you can't get too much of it because your body will just let go of whatever it doesn't need. So that's why you see a lot of products out there that are like just packed with it. Not that Vitaminis is like that, but it's easy to find in a lot of fruits and veggies that I think are more common, like citrus fruits, oranges, lemons. I think that's what most people think of with vitamin C, but it's also in strawberries. And then it's in some vegetables like red and green peppers. So I think those are more common and easy to work in, but it does a lot of things for you. It helps with antioxidant action and inflammation control. So if you just generally think about like inflammation in your body, it just kind of brings all of that down. And from an immune support side of things, it's really the skin barrier. It helps really keep your skin like a strong barrier, not letting any pathogens in. It helps with collagen production. I know collagen is very trendy these days, so like put it in your coffee and all that, but you actually need vitamin C and collagen together to make it effective. It's involved in the actual production of collagen inside your body. So it keeps that skin like healthy and looking good. And I know I actually have some topical vitamin C that I use on my face sometimes. Like you can actually use it directly on your skin too. So yeah, it's a really great vitamin. It does a lot of things for you.
Yeah, I'm an esthetician, and I have a skincare line, and vitamin C is a staple for skin. And it's the same thing. I talk about your skin health from the inside out. So I promote yes, eat the vitamin C, because it actually will affect the way your skin looks. But also topically, it's such a key ingredient. It's such a tried and true ingredient. So I'm always telling my clients yes, vitamin C topically is so important. It does all the things that you said internally as it does externally. It really helps with the sun and the environmental damage. And that's what I love about that ingredient, because it's such an inside out type of ingredient, and it's so effective.
That's awesome. I didn't know you had a skincare line. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. It's all connected, right? The outside, the inside, what you do for both, it all comes out to the same.
It's so connected. I mean, that's part of the reason I started this podcast, because it's what a lot of problems with our skin they root from what we're maybe taking in that we shouldn't be, or something's gone wrong, you're allergic to something. And so it's not just like, what's the best skincare serum? It's like, take a look at what's happening inside of your body, because it's like this alarm system on the outside of our body when we have problems. And we can say, okay, well, this isn't normal for me. I shouldn't be having this. What am I doing internally? It's like it's so connected. And I think vitamin C is like such a good example of that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
When I first started my wellness journey, I had already been in the skincare industry for years, working on client skin and as an educator for multiple skincare brands. When I learned about how the toxins in our personal care and beauty products could have a negative impact on our health, I knew I needed to make a change. I was used to the result-driven products that I was working with, and I was not happy with the natural products on the market at that time. Although they were safer and cleaner, they did not meet my expectations for results. I created Simply Just Skincare to deliver the results my clients demanded from their products while using natural, toxin-free ingredients. You can check out my clients' results and reviews on my website, simplyjustskincare.com. In 30 days, my clients have reported more hydrated skin, less appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and more of an overall glow. Our top sellers include our Repair Toner, our Hydrating Undo Serum with hyaluronic acid, and more. I am offering my listeners 20% off their first order with code PODCAST. Check it out in the link in my show notes to get glowing today. So let's talk about zinc. I feel like zinc is, when I think of it, and I'm excited to hear you talk about this one because I don't know much about zinc. I only know that when I was talking to my doctor this week, she was like, you need to take zinc. And it's like, it's kind of in my mind, it's like, oh, that's what you take when you're sick, or that's what you take when you're feeling run down. But I'm sure there's other reasons that we should be taking zinc.
Yes, for sure. And this is one where, again, it was like harder. When I looked at the sources of zinc, it's harder to get it in all the time on a regular basis because it comes from like nuts and seeds and meats. It's actually in things like raw oysters, It's like,
Yes.
how often are you eating that? Dairy products too. So I think for people that are on plant-based diets, you kind of need to keep an eye on that because you're not getting it from the meats and the dairies. But yeah, zinc is really, really important. So from an immune system standpoint, it is really involved in the function of your immune cells, including your white blood cells that actually come and kill the germs inside your body. So it kind of just keeps those running. And then it is also linked to the skin and the mucous membranes and keeping them kind of like intact barriers. So if you're not getting enough zinc, among other things, you might have more germs actually penetrating your skin and your mucous membranes and getting you sicker when you're around other people that are sick. And it is also very involved in cell growth and repair generally. And this is like where I feel like I get out of my depth from a scientific standpoint, but it's actually involved in like DNA synthesis. So as your cells are regenerating and reproducing, zinc is used in that. And then again, like magnesium, it has so many other functions too. Cognitive function, it's also an antioxidant and has those properties. And it also plays a role in regulating your hormone levels and function, including insulin, which is like your metabolism or your sugar hormone, and then also testosterone. So getting enough zinc helps your body regulate all of that, which I'm sure as an esthetician, hormones can affect your skin and everything else, mood, you name it. So it's another real powerhouse mineral that touches so many areas.
I did not know that about zinc. That's incredible. That makes me really want to take zinc like on a regular basis. I'm like, why am I not doing that?
Trendy. It's very trendy right now. I feel like zinc is everywhere.
Now, is zinc something like, I know you had mentioned vitamin C with collagen so that you're actually uptaking the benefits of it. Is zinc the same? Is it, because every time I hear somebody talk about zinc, it's like take zinc and vitamin C. So do you need a supplement with it like a vitamin C, or can you upregulate it without, just like on its own?
I don't know. I have not heard that you need to, and I've not come across that you need to have it paired with other things. I think in general, the rule I've heard from nutritionists is, and this is why whole foods are better because you're getting multiple aspects together. So in general, if you're covering all your bases, everything is more effective. But I have not heard that zinc has to be paired with anything in particular. So I think you'll see a lot of like, they call them like the single letter, like the single supplements out there. There's a lot of pure zinc out there. I think it's pretty effective on its own, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
Okay. Yeah. I was curious because I usually take it with C just because in my head I put those two together. But yeah. So tell us more about Vitaminis and like how did it come about? And I would love to hear more about the actual product as well.
Yeah, so I've got the products here. They're basically these little shots. So this one's immune support. This is the vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium. It has as much C as 3 oranges, as much zinc as 4 avocados, and as much magnesium as 5 cups of spinach. And it's basically in an orange pineapple juice. So it doesn't have
Ooh.
like that ginger, turmeric, pepper. It's like a sweet juice, no added sugar though. And then the gut health one, this is as much fiber as a cup of broccoli and as much probiotics as 2 cups of yogurt in a blueberry juice with banana puree. So it's kind of like a little gut tonic there.
Yum.
So I would say the way they came about, I've always been into health and wellness and nutrition, but I'm not a foodie. So I think I've always thought of it as more like a math equation. It's like you got your proteins, you've got your vitamins, you're making sure you're getting all the things, and just kind of it's something I think about because I'm a huge believer that what you put in, you'll get out, and you can prevent illness, but also just even things like going after your goals, being feeling like you're living life to the fullest. I believe if you don't have proper nutrition, it just brings all of that down. So I've always thought about that. And then, like I said, I got laid off during the pandemic, and I had at the time 3 boys. They're 18 months apart, all of them. So at the time of the pandemic, I think they were like 6, 5, and 3 or something. And they were all in daycare. And so the daycare got shut down. So I was basically thrown, and I got laid off. So I was thrown into stay-at-home mom with the 3 boys, and it like just completely changed what I had spent my time doing. I had always been kind of thinking about their nutrition, but also being a little bit removed from it. But then when I was thrown into the day to day of it, I just started looking around at what was available out there, how realizing how tough it is to get all those nutrients from regular food. And even some of the fruits and vegetables today are not as nutrient dense as they used to be because of like industrial farming and stuff like that, and just getting more educated about it. But I've never been a fan of pills. They make me kind of sick, like nauseous. And gummy vitamins, of course, the kids love them, but the dentist warns you and they like are good for your teeth. And it kind of all came together for me. And I don't know exactly how I landed on it, but it was like a light bulb went off. I'm like, where is that like natural food or beverage, like a juice or a food that's like got added good stuff, but still tastes good, but doesn't have the sugar and the weird ingredients? And I started with immune support because it was COVID times. And then gut health, I launched soon thereafter. This one was partially inspired by some digestive issues that my kids had, but it's great for everybody, just for like regular daily maintenance, but also if are stopped up or not having issues.
I love that. I know it's like it sounds like it was the perfect timing for immune support. Like everybody was like, what can we do to stay healthy and like not get this? Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. So I'm assuming these are for kids too, like kid friendly.
Yeah. So they're labeled as juices, and the FDA labeling is 4 and up. So the percentages, like it has 30% magnesium, 50% zinc. Those percentages are for 4 and up. So I do give it to my 2-year-old, but I'll usually give her a half of one or kind of like water it down a little bit because it's just juice and vitamins. There's nothing in there you wouldn't want to give a kid, but 4 and up is the technical answer.
And they sound so yummy. Like I'm sure the kids love drinking them as well because
Yeah.
that's the hard part.
Yeah, yeah. And like my picky eater sometimes gets a hard time even about my vitamins. I'm like, come on, man. But I will put them in lunch boxes.
Oh.
You can throw them in your purse. You can put them in smoothies. We'll do a lot of smoothies with Vitaminis on the road. So yeah, it's good for everybody, like the whole family. I keep them in the fridge, and sometimes it's like, oh, you're kind of bored. You want a little pick me up. You want a little sweet thing. Just grab a Vitaminis.
Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing. So is it serving size like one a day?
One bottle, yeah.
One
Ideally,
bottle.
every day. My customers that are on a subscription of a box per month of each, that's like 3 per week of each. So you might do one this day, one that day. Like I was saying before, I think about the weekly approach. So as long as you're kind of getting it in, it doesn't have to be every single day.
Yeah, that I like that approach. So like that's amazing. So where can everyone look and find these?
So we have a website, vitaminisbrand.com. And if you use the code VITAFAM20, VITAFAM20, you get 20% off your first order. We're also on Amazon. So you
Okay.
can search for Vitaminis juice. Sometimes if you put in Vitaminis, the big vitamin brands come up because I think they think it's a typo and they're paying for that search term. But if you put in Vitaminis juice or Vitamini shot, you should be able to find it. And then in the Midwest, we're at Fresh Time Market and the Fruitful Yield. So we're in a couple retailers, and I'm working hard to get it out to more retailers hopefully soon.
Yeah, come to California. That's where we need you.
Oh my gosh, I've been pitching Erewhon. That's like on my list. I'm like, please, but they're kind of hard to get into, so I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah, and I heard they're opening one of those near me in Newport
Ooh,
Beach.
nice.
So yeah, that would be so amazing. Well, I'm so happy for you. This sounds like an amazing product. I'm definitely going to be trying it. And thank you so much for coming on and sharing. I feel like this is such a great time to be talking about the importance of these vitamins, and not just us, but like our kids and all of that. It's like a definite need that we have at this time of year.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe and review so we can reach more people who want to learn to glow alongside us. See you next time.